guarded because Married with Children, the first 3 seasons, like it was like, no, I was trying to get recognized.
Of course.
But no one was recognizing me, dog. Yeah. It was on Fox. Yeah. Nobody was watching Fox yet. Yeah. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I went to the mall. I was 13 or 14. It had been on for like a season or 2. And I was like, yo, I'm on a series. I went to the mall. Embarrassingly enough, I wore a Married with Children t-shirt. A Married with Children t-shirt. I gotta wear
my Black Eyed Peas shirt.
And not one person said shit.
Right.
It wasn't until
Which
woman.
mall was it? You remember?
I think it was I don't want to say the Glendale Galleria. Yeah, the Galleria.
Yeah.
It wasn't until this woman named Terry Ricolta, shout out Terry Ricolta, even though she doesn't want to be shout out. She came in the room one day. She was this very powerful, rich woman in Michigan. She came into the room and her children were laughing their asses off. And what are they laughing? They're watching TV. And she sat down appalled, completely appalled by what she heard. Mm-hmm. She successfully, being the powerful woman I don't remember who she was married to, but she was able to pull Coca-Cola, big sponsors, McDonald's, and like 2 other huge sponsors. And they pulled out. And it became this story. What is this trash called Married with Children? She successfully got our show onto the. It was like overnight. Everybody wanted to know what they shouldn't be watching. They want to know what this is.
So it backfired.
Completely backfired. So much so that the producers sent her a big thank you basket in the mail. Yeah. Because and Hustler,
Harry David's basket, Harry David's basket.
Yeah. And Hustler gave her this is correct, asshole of the month.
Wow.
What are some of the good, cool moments that we didn't get to see as fans with you and your fellow cast from the show?
We had so much laughter on that show.
Yeah.
Ask anybody, Ed, Christina. There's not been a job like it ever since for any of them. The sense of freedom, and that comes from the creators, Ron Levitt and Michael Moy on down. It was just easy goes, man. We didn't over rehearse, which shows in the show. It was laughs, man.
What's the funniest moment that you guys had off screen?
So many, man.
A prank or
so many.
A level of disrespect that ended up being funny or something?
There was so many. I mean, one that stands out a little bit is it's part of the show, but we did it. Our first Christmas episode, right? Season 1, they decided to do a Christmas episode, and in the episode, Al works at the shoe store, right?
Yeah.
So the mall itself has this promotion deal where they're like, oh, we'll get Santa Claus to parachute into the mall for a promo thing. So Al's like, yo, I'm not going to work, man. Fuck this. I don't want to be a part of this. So he stays home. He plays hooky from work, and we're all on the couch. And we're all huddled on the couch. It's Christmas, and we're watching this. And Santa's jumping from the plane, and here he comes down the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Santa's chute doesn't seem to be opening, and they had this dummy in our back hooked on these things, and thud in the backyard. Santa lands dead in our backyard, and they had a real life-sized
dummy
thing, man. Yeah, it was like 200 pounds, and they dropped this thing. And every time we did it in rehearsal, we could not laugh. And so to this day, it's the only episode we never break the fourth wall. Never have broke the fourth wall on that show. In this episode, you can see we're watching thud. We all turn around. We turn back around, and Ed, who's a seasoned actor, who would never look at the camera, to this day, you can see him go to see if they can catch him laughing, because we're all trying not to. We're all cracking up. It was a funny moment, and there's some great lines in that, like because it cuts to later. The coroner is taking the body out. They got a stretcher. They're taking the body out, and we're sitting there because someone's made us a dinner, and we're sitting there eating, and Marcy, the character Marcy goes, or Steve goes, you ghouls, how can you be so happy at a time like this? And Al says, what do you want us to do, Steve? Quit eating?
That's classic. Oh, man.
It was just great lines. But the storytelling, Ed O'Neill is one of the greatest storytellers of all time, which brings me to something we're doing. Ed has, he owns a piece of Married with Children. He owns a piece of Modern Family.
Wow.
I mean, he's
So
well off.
he got the back end.
He got the back end that none of us got the same deal he got, which, blessings
Fair.
to him.
Yeah.
Bernie, if you have Bernie Brillstein as your manager, you too can own a piece of a show. But he's a great storyteller. So we're doing a series because, I've had people send me offers like, oh, I'll have Ed come for 2 hours. We'll pay him $100,000. Nah, D, I don't want to do that. So, but I knew he loves to tell stories. The guy can talk for hours and hours. He calls on the phone. My wife will be like, don't pick it up because she knows I'm going to be on the phone for hours. But so when they approached us about doing this stage reunion, because they can't get a reunion going on TV because of some legal shit. It's a whole other story. But we're doing a series of stage reunions, the first being here in Los Angeles at the Wiltern Theater, I think in January, where we're just going to be on stage and we're going to talk stories. We're going to do Q&A. And so Ed
we have to be there,
Ed will be telling stories, man, for hours.
Bring a sleeping bag is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, he's old, rich, and in no hurry. He just tell. So there's a lot of stories like that. But there was only one beef on that entire show, and it was between Ed and the woman who played Marcy, Amanda Bierce.
Mm-hmm.
She started directing. He, much to his credit, we kind of helped her get into that, and she started feeling herself, bro. Like all you have to do in that situation is stay humble, right? Yeah. But instead, she started like feeling herself and thinking who the fuck she was. Yeah. And Ed was like, what's happening here? Like, I put you in this position. Like, what are you doing? So they started beefing. And, so Ed tells the story. It actually went viral. She's a lesbian and she ended up having a wedding. This is before none of the sort of, it was very taboo. Yeah.
Pun intended.
To get married to another woman. And so she invited everyone in the cast and in the crew except for Ed and I.
Wow.
Ed was
you got left out.
I got left out.
You got shrapnel on that?
Well, because Ed and I
why.
laughed a lot, man. And we had very much the same humor. And so they started beefing, and she said, well, you guys are going to laugh if you're there. And he said, Amanda, and this is should not be said today. He goes, Amanda, and this is went viral. What is funny about two grown women in two little white tuxes walking up to which, is probably not okay to say, but they had this huge beef, and it ended up, I'll never forget, it was in the makeup room, they started fighting, and it went out, and they're screaming at each other, and he says, you're not very bright. And he says, well, of course she is really bright, but I just said this. She goes, what do you mean I'm not bright? He goes, well, I have a button here. My button says, get rid of Amanda Bierce. You don't have that button. My button works. Yours doesn't. And he never pushed that button. But it was like, again, all you have to do in that situation is be humble. And by the way, I have no beef with Amanda. We've always gotten along.
Just so you guys know, she was the neighbor in the...
Yeah, she played Marcy.
Yeah, the neighbor.
But anyway, so that was the only beef, man. I kid you not. We all laughed for 11 years.
That's right, y'all. It's Taboo Nawasha, and I hope you enjoyed geeking out with me and going straight into geek mode. For more information, for more videos, subscribe, like, and comment. Share with your friends. Much love. There it is.
Comics and kicks.